Hey, it's Auret here with essetinomedia, helping you create profitable content. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to design your own self-assessment worksheet in PowerPoint, just like the one that you see here on the screen. This particular worksheet is one where the user is being asked to check mark or rate themselves depending on these statements right here. And this is actually, I just designed this for a client. This is the original Word document that she handed off to me. Some of you who may be watching this might have something already to work off of in a work document, and you can really create some amazing worksheets in PowerPoint that look professional and beautiful. So let me show you how to do this. So the first thing you want to do is open up your PowerPoint. So I'm just going to go to File and I'll start a new blank presentation. And by default on my screen, it goes into this widescreen format, so we need to change it into a letter page. So go to Design tab over here, and then where it says Slide Size off to the right, we're going to click on Custom Slide Size, and then we're going to hit the drop-down menu here and select Letter Paper and Portrait Mode. So that way it's right side up rather than landscape format, and then hit OK. And it doesn't matter which one you select here. I usually just hit this one because we don't have any content in here right now. Next, we're going to add the title up here. Just click into the default box here, and then you can start typing in your title. Don't worry about any customizations right now. We'll do all of those final touches later. So this is what this worksheet is called, EDUCATOR. I'm going to select all of this, go to the Home tab, and just make this smaller, like so. And you can align it differently. So on the original sheet here, you saw that I aligned it off to the left. So I'm going to do that here and just place it like so. And want this on a separate line. What we're going to do is just add all of the elements first, and then we'll go back and customize everything. You might have a logo. This particular client didn't have a logo just yet. If you do have a logo, you're going to input it off to the side here. For this situation, I just had a really nice photo that I put to kind of fill up that space a little bit. So whether you're importing an image like this border here or a logo, you want to go to Insert, Pictures, this device, and then find the file for it. So that be your logo file or image. And then once you've found it, just double click on it and it will bring it in for you. So you can click and drag to position it however you like. You can select these little white buttons or circles off to the side and scale the image however you like as well. So I think about there is nice. And to make the title pop a little bit more, let's add this bar at the back over here. So I'm going to go to Insert, Shape, and I selected the rectangle shape right there. If you don't see it at the top here of recently used shapes, it'll also be right under this category of rectangles, and it's this one right here. So once I've selected that, I'm going to click and drag just to create a box. And we're going to select a color that you'd like. So I'm going to go here to Shape, Fill. Now they have all of these standard colors for us to choose from. But if you want a custom color, maybe it's something related to your logo, you can select the eyedropper and then click on your logo to grab that color. So let's just pretend that this is my logo here. I'm going to click and then it'll automatically grab that color for us. If you want to use a different color entirely, then go to Shape Fill, More Fill Colors, and then you're going to add the hex code or the RGB over here. So let's just cancel this. I know the particular code for this one. I'm just going to grab it here and I'm going to right click and hit copy just to grab the code, and then we're going to come back here. More Fill Colors, and once you have the hex code, this is where you'll put it in and then hit OK. Perfect. And you see there's a border here. If you don't want the border, just click on that shape again, select Shape Outline and select No Outline. So I can click and drag this now, put that into place. You see that it's sitting on top of the title. So I'm going to right click and select send to back so that the title comes up first. And then let's change this font. I'm going to go to the Home tab and select the drop down here. I'm just going to select this one, Alice font. And then we're going to change the color of this text to white. So I'm going to hit the little drop down here next to the A, select white, and let's just take a look here. We also made that subtitle, we left that black. So I'm going to click and drag, select this black. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So you can either make it smaller by choosing a font size from here, or these are your upsize and downsize font buttons right here. So I'm going to make this a little smaller like so. I'm going to add a little bit more space between these two lines. So I'm going to select this, and you see this line spacing right here? Let's make that 1.5 and then just drag that into place like so. I'm going to select this bar and make it a little bit shorter. Great, now the top half of our page is done. I always like to do the header and the footer first, which kind of frames the page and allows us to see how much space we have to work with in the middle of the page. So the other thing I'm going to do is create this footer bar right here, as you see on the bottom, and then also add another one of these images right here. So since it's the same color and it's in the same shape, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to right click, select copy, and then again right click anywhere and select paste. So it's going to duplicate this for me, and then I'm going to click and drag this right here on the bottom and shape it for my footer bar. Next, we want to add our copyright text in the footer. So I'm going to double click and you'll see there's like a blinking line there letting me know I can start typing away. But we want that copyright symbol, right? So to do that, go to where it says Insert, the Insert tab at the top here. Then we're going to go to Symbol, and I'm going to find my copyright sign right there. Let's hit Insert. It's going to put it in there. Great. Hit Close. And then I'll type in the name of my business or my client's business. Typically, I've designed hundreds, literally hundreds of these worksheets, workbooks, all kinds of different PDF forms, fillable forms, printable. If you want to save some time and need some help, you want to just outsource it to me, I'm happy to do that. I'm going to put a link in the description. But if you're still with me, you're sticking with me, let's continue. So I'm going to select all of this and let's change that to the Alice font, and I'm going to use my downsize to make it a little bit smaller like so. Next, I'm going to take a copy of this image and flip it. So let me show you what I mean here. You see this right here? It's basically the same image that we used at the top. It's just flipped, and it's easy to do that. Let me show you how. So we'll go back here. Remember how to copy, duplicate something. So right click, select copy, then right click anywhere and select this paste clipboard item right here. So it's created this copy for us, and then we're going to go to picture format, rotate, and I'm going to flip it vertically and then flip it horizontally. So I'm going to select this first, and then we'll hit rotate again, flip horizontal, and I can then just drag this on the bottom, and I want it to be behind the footer. So again, I'm going to right click and select send to back. So there we go. We have a nice frame for our worksheet. The last piece here is to create the table part. So this is the part where you have maybe a set of statements or sentences where you want your user, your client, your customer to evaluate themselves on. So what we need to do is first create this table, and then we can start to fill it in and customize it. I'm just going to get rid of this text bar. We don't need that. So I just clicked on it, and I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. And now we're going to go to Insert, table, and you'll just basically need to count how many rows and columns that you have. For this particular table, we have 10 rows, actually 11 rows if you're counting the header. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. So if this isn't enough space for you, I'll show you how to add more columns or rows. And if you make a mistake as well, you have too many columns or rows, I'll show you how to delete that. So we have the skeleton of our table. This has less than 10 rows, so I want to add some more. So just click on the bottom row here, and then you're going to go to the Layout tab, and you see here where it says Insert Below or Insert Above. I'm just going to keep hitting Insert Below till it adds the right number of rows for me. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need 3 more. 1, 2, 3. All right, and this should be, yeah, it's the right number of columns. Again, if you've created too many, you can come here to where it says delete, and you can select delete columns or delete rows and clean that up. But make sure you have the right amount of rows and columns first to start off with, and then you want to start typing in your content here. Now I already have it ready to go in that Word document that I showed you. So I'm just going to copy it from here, or actually start from here. And I'm going to click and drag, because I want it to be in the first row. So I'm going to just click and drag, select all of those columns, and then right click, hit paste. So it's going to automatically put that in there for me if you're copying it from a table, a Word document table like I am. If you're not, then you might have to type each sentence out manually or copy each statement manually and then paste that back in. So it's looking a little weird right now. Don't worry, we'll clean it up. I can actually get rid of this text here, and then we're going to add our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because in this particular assessment, they're rating themselves on a low to high scale of 1 to 5. And then we have a comments box as well. So I'm going to just click and drag these white dots to start making this a little more in line with what I need. I definitely want to make this column a little bit wider and these columns shorter because they don't need much space to like check mark or just, you know, color it in. You can either click and drag the border lines like you see here and adjust it manually. But what I like to do is, you see here in the Layout tab, they have a great time-saving tool called Distribute Columns or Distribute Rows, depending on what you want to do. Basically, you select whatever rows or columns you want to equalize. And so let me just say these ones right here, right? I want to, when I say equalize, I mean making them all the same size, same width. So I've clicked and dragged that to select it, and I'm going to hit Distribute Columns, and it makes them the perfect size, all of them equal width. I would still like a little bit more space in the comments box. So this is where a lot of little tweaking comes in. This is where you'll need to kind of click and drag things, maybe make this a little bigger, which will change the size of that. So we need to equalize these again. And you want to keep doing this until you've come to a point where you're happy with the way it looks. Now again, we're just looking at the sizing and the structure of the table. We're gonna come into customizing it right now. For this entire table, I want to change the font to Open Sans. So I'm gonna go to Home. I'll just select Open Sans, type that in. And it made the font take up a lot more space. So I'm gonna have to just make it a little bit smaller like so. I think size 10 works nicely. And I want the text to sit in the middle of the box. So where it says Align Text, I'm going to select Middle. And I'm okay with these having be aligned left there, so I'll leave that. But this at the top, I'm going to click and drag that and align it center. All right, so once you're happy with it, you might need to tweak things a little bit more. This particular page is actually going to be made a fillable PDF where they can type in, so they'll have a lot more space to type in comments here. It won't just be restricted to the size of the box. But let's say you're making a printable worksheet and you have a comments box, you definitely want to, create more space for these types of boxes where they'll be typing or writing a little bit more text in there. And I want to make sure this table is aligned center. So I'm going to go to Arrange, Align Center. And now we can start to customize the colors of this table. So I just clicked and dragged the top row here. And again, I want a custom color for this. So I'm going to grab a hex code. You don't necessarily need to. You can just go straight to the Table Design tab and select the shading. Choose any one of these here. But for me, I'm going to go to More Fill Colors and I'll just hand select something here. You can either grab your hex code again and paste that in there, or choose something by hand. I think that's pretty similar to what I had there. And this right here was a lighter shade. Yeah, a lighter shade of that green. So I'll go here and you'll start to see the colors that you're using. They'll show them for you automatically. So it's nice because you don't have to go and select that color again. It'll pop up in here for you. I'm going to select this green, but then choose a lighter shade. So we'll go back here to More Fill Colors and I'll just drag this so it's a little bit lighter and I'll select OK. All right, that's looking pretty good. And I want all of this to be just white. Actually, this is a fillable one. So you can see here it's a very super light green. If you are doing a printable worksheet, again, I recommend sticking with just white because then it's easy to write in those boxes when they do go to print it out. But for this, let's go back here again, select this green, but I'm going to make it even lighter. So go to More Fill Colors, and you can do the same thing. You can choose lighter versions of the colors that you've used, and that's kind of what brings the design all together and makes it look cohesive, consistent, and professional, beautiful looking. So the other thing here, the final thing, is to give it some borders because you see here we have these black lines to really mark the table itself and make it stand out more. So I'm going to select the whole table here. And then under borders, I'm going to select this little drop down and hit all borders. So by default, it's going to make it black. If you want to change the color of the borders, then you would do that right here with the pen color. So you would choose a pen color and then hit that borders option again. You can see it change the color. But I'm going to keep it black, and I want to make it less thick because it's way too thick right now. So you can adjust the weight of that border by selecting this up here. And let's go for 3/4. I think that's good. Once you select it, remember again, you have to hit the borders button right here. And let me click out of that. Yeah, that looks good. So the final touches here are adding this low, high, just so people know what's low, what's high. It's always good to indicate that on a scale, even though it might seem obvious. This total score box right here, so they'll have somewhere to add all of the numbers, and then something like a legend, which we have down at the bottom here. So let's start off with those two text pieces. I'm going to go to Insert, Text Box, and we'll just add a little text box here. I'll type in low. This is way too big, so again, I'm going to select all of that text and go on my downsize font button right here, decrease font size, and change the font to this. All right, and then I'm just gonna, because I want to keep the same formatting, I'm gonna right click this box, hit copy, right click it again, hit paste. It's gonna create that duplicate that we all know and love. It's just a huge time saver, right? And now I'm going to just change this to high. And creating that legend on the bottom here, like what I showed you over here, is just the same thing. So it's the same matter of going to insert text box. You're going to create a text box here, click and drag. You want to paste in your legend. So I have this right here, and I'm going to hit paste. I hit paste on my keyboard with my shortcuts, Control V to paste and Control C on a PC to copy. But again, you can do the right click method that I showed you before. They do the same thing, just different ways. As usual, I'm going to select this. We'll make it a little bit smaller. We'll center it right here. Maybe change the font. All right. And you can change the color of certain words like this. I just double clicked on that, and I'm going to select this font color right here, the orange, and do the same thing. All right, maybe make that a little bit smaller. All right, so the last piece here is adding that total box. And if, by the way, you see, oh, I wish this table was sitting a little bit higher so I have more room for the total box, then all you need to do is just click and drag across this entire page so that it selects everything. And on my keyboard, I'm just using the arrow buttons. So I'm just slightly moving it incrementally higher. And we're going to add that total box below. To do that, I'm going to add a row beneath on this table. So it's under Layout, Insert Below. And I just want this box at the end here to be where people add in that total score, right? So I'm going to keep this box, but I will merge all of these boxes together. So you see where it says merge cells? I'm going to click on that, and I want that to be white. So we'll go to Table Design, Shading, White, and then I'm going to write total. So we're going to bold this. I've just clicked and dragged there. Go to Home, Bold, and we're going to align it right. Okay. And the final thing here is just to get rid of these two lines. So if we take a look back here, there's no lines on the side here, right? So we want to come back here and get rid of these. Click into this cell where it says total, and under Table Design, you're going to hit the drop down of the borders, and we want to get rid of the left border and the bottom border. So we need to select those borders, and it will get rid of it for us. So I'm going to hit left border. See how it got rid of that there? And again, click into here, and I'm going to hit bottom border, and it got rid of it like that. So there you have it. Make sure you save, absolutely save. Go to File, and then Save, and then find a place on your computer to save it. You can also save it as a PDF if that is something that you want to then take and hand out to your clients, your customers, send over email. Like I said earlier, I'm happy to design this for you or any other PDF projects that you have in mind. I'll put my contact info and a link down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.